Hello everyone, Vampire 218 here, super hyped to be bringing you my week 1 match of the IDL. First off, I'm going to look at what my opponent drafted, what I'm bringing, and then we're going to look at the match. So, looking at my opponent's team, she has Victini, Ferrothorn, Shaman, Crocodile, Hitmonlee, Raichu, Mega Blastoise, Sylveon, Goodra, Ambipom, and Frostlass. Now, honestly, I think this is probably one of the scariest teams in the league because already we've got some really good speed tier mons here, with Raichu, with Victini, with Shaman, with Ambipom, and with Frostlass. She's got very good bulk with things like Mega Blastoise, Goodra, Crook, Shaman, Ferrothorn, and realistically, she's got her bases covered in terms of weaknesses. She has like a little bit of a weakness to fire, but with mons like Goodra, Mega Blastoise, and Victini, she's covering it up pretty good. I guess Frostlass has that weakness too, but overall, I was looking at this draft and I was really scared. So jumping right into the team I'm bringing Ditto this week. And before we go over that, I really had to bring these mons in the way I did, I felt, because it was the only chance to give me victory. I did the speed tiers, and I was really afraid of that Victini, because Victini has the coverage that it could basically kill anything on my team in 2 hits. So I was very afraid. So either way, I had to bring Ditto. Always bring Choice Scarf Ditto, because it's really, if she wanted to set up with anything, it lets this thing, come in and anti-sweep, which is really nice. Next, I was bringing the Tentacruel because I was actually pretty afraid of the Mega Blastoise. And I was looking at Mega Blastoise and I was saying, what can I do to a Mega Blastoise? So I was looking at what moves it gets, and the only mon that I had that could take everything it could throw out was Tentacruel, and with Giga Drain, this thing would be doing about a third and gaining back all of that health, which is really good. So I'm bringing obviously Sludge Wave to counteract a Fairy, Knockoff just to get rid of some good items, Rapid Spin in case she wants to try and set up hazards, and Giga Drain to take care of the Mega Blastoise. It's a very specially offensive this week, tanky and offensive, because I needed to be able to get back as much health as possible to deal with the Mega Blastoise. I'm bringing the Galvantula this week because, again, I was really afraid of Victini, mainly a Choice Scarf Victini, because it could lock into something like V-Create or like a lot of different moves. It can just lock into, take out 2 or 3 key mons before dying, and I can't really have that. It's just so bulky that I needed to be able to get webs up or Thunder Wave it so that its speed goes to just below its max speed, which would be about like 2... I don't remember the max speed of a base 100. I think it's like 228 or something. So you'll see here that I do have it at 328, because you do see here I have my speed at 330 because I am speed tiering just 2 points above a max speed Victini that has no item, or I believe 3 points above a max speed Victini that has a scarf that is at -1, either through sticky webs, or if it has Thunder Wave active, it's gonna vastly outspeed it. So, Volt Switch, Sticky Web, Thunder Wave, and Bug Buzz this week. This was really here to be a key switcher. I was really trying to save this thing just to make Victini deal with the Bull, right? I wanted to get some key paralysis off, but that's all the things it was here for. Latios was my next. This is one of my big damage dealers. You'll see that my Darmanitan was the other, but I had Hidden Power Fire to deal with things like Ferrothorn. I had Draco Meteor to just do massive damage. I had Grass Knot in case he wanted to try and answer this with Mega Blastoise or like Crocodile. And I had Ice Beam, and Grass Knot and Ice Beam, I believe, Ice Beamed it slightly more to a Crook, or slightly less to a Crook. I'm not sure exactly how it worked out, but you'll see the speed here is the same as the Galvantula, that it can just outspeed a Victini that is not scarfed. So this thing was scarfed, so that if Victini was scarfed, this could also outspeed it, hit a Draco, and potentially kill the Victini. I think a Draco from this thing kills Victini if it came in on rocks. Now we have the Cobalion here. Stealth Rock, Thunderwave, Ironhead, Close Combat. And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes I made in prep, was I didn't give this thing a ground move. I probably should have given this thing a ground move instead of, I want to say, like, Thunderwave, because, you know, she has a lot of mons that are weak to ground, and even though this thing isn't going to be getting stabbed from those, it's worth having that. So either way, this was my dedicated lead to try and get up rocks or Thunderwave. It's a very, you know, bulky. If you look at its set, it outspeeds a Victini again. It's got enough attack that it can do some stuff. I did make a mistake on its health and not put it at odd health, but oh well. And then Darmanitan is the last mon here. Earthquake, Flare Blitz, Rock Slide, U-Turn. This thing lived an attack from, I believe, a non-choice banded Victini from no matter what from like the most powerful hit it could take. Took about 94%, so that's what this was for, you know. EQ, Rock Slide, those would OHKO a Victini. Flare Blitz was there for massive damage, and U-Turn was there for the pivot potential. We're going to jump right into the match now, and you do see that this thing, I did mess up on the speed by 1 point. I didn't mess up on the speed, actually, no. This thing is 100 points under, never mind. So we're going to jump right into the match, and we're on her side for some reason. So we see right away that she brought both cores that she could have brought, you know, Fire, Dragon, Grass, Steel, Water, Fairy. She has all of those in those 5 mons. And then Raichu. So, you know, I'm feeling okay. There are some mons here that I didn't see that I think would have scared me a little more, like a support shaman type thing, but I'm happy I didn't see stuff like that. So we jump right into the match, and I lead with Cobalion. Cobalion was my dedicated lead, and realistically, my whole goal here was to try and get up rocks so I can get passive damage out. I wasn't afraid of this Raichu here. But here's another thing. Looking at her team, everything would have taken EQ at this point, so it was a misplay on my part by not prepping that. So she does Fake Out. She takes 16%, which is great. She knocks off, giving me Justified, but again, also taking the Rocky Helmet damage. I set up rocks here. Now, had I gone for EQ here, that would have done probably about 40% with the attack boost, and it would have been huge. So I just go for Iron Head here. It does 20%, so it's not that good because it resists that attack. So I'm not expecting her to have Aura Sphere here, and it completely surprises me, to be honest. I was expecting this thing to have Rapid Spin, Scald, Dark Pulse, and I don't even know what the last move I thought would be. I didn't think it would be Aura Sphere. I'm not too accustomed to Mega Blastoise, so I do get Paralysis off, but again, it was a mistake on my part. I should have just hard switched into the Tentacruel, so that's another misplay on my part. And Cobalion goes down really early when I needed it. So I start using this thing here to just kind of demo that. She switches into the Ferrothorn. And here's another misplay on my part. I should have prepped something for Ferrothorn on this thing, because this thing has answers for a lot of her other mons other than Ferrothorn. So I have to switch into Darmanitan here. I'm just trying to get off as much damage as possible, but she gets Seeds out. So I just go for Flare Blitz here, and even though it's resisted, it does so much damage because of the Band and Sheer Force. But I have to switch out here into Tentacruel, because I'm figuring Tentacruel is my special wall. It's not going to take much from a Draco or anything. And it takes just under half from a Draco, which is really good considering Draco can OHKO most things. So I just knock off the eject button from the this guy right here, which is pretty funny. She tells me after that I knocked off the eject button. I didn't even realize it in game. I had no idea that's what she had, but that's kind of funny. I don't think it would have made a difference again if I had brought EQ though. So I switch into the Latios here, predicting the fake out, and I take the fake out pretty good. I go for Ice Beam, and I'm able to pick up a kill on the Raichu. She switches into her Fairy, so I have to switch into my Darmanitan, and Darmanitan, again, I think I probably made a mistake here. I definitely should have gone into the Tentacruel, because Tentacruel would be very well equipped to take those Hyper Voices. So I just get a Sludge Wave off, and it's just not enough. I should have predicted a switch here, because I knew she wished, so. But I'm able to get my health back on this thing, and she roars it away into Ditto, which is actually very fine by me, because I can use Ditto to Aura Sphere, kill it, and she goes into the Dragon. I Aura Sphere and almost kill. Thunderbolt does not do enough, so she switches into the Sylveon. I'm locked into Aura Sphere though, so I can't really do much to this thing. I have to switch out back into the Tentacruel, and here's right here where I see 15% from a Hyper Voice, which, you know, it really was a misplay on my part, so Hyper Voice doesn't do much to this thing. She has to switch into this thing, and that's, again, another point where I'm seeing, man, HP Fire at least would have done about a quarter to this thing, making it, you know, value, right? So I knock off its Rocky Helmet because I'm figuring I need to get this thing's item off so that I can hit it with other mons. But the rocks come up, which means that Darmanitan cannot touch anything. She uses a Power Whip, which does a lot of damage, and I'm just in a bad position. You know, I go into my Latios, and it takes quite a bit from the Power Whip. She switches into Victini as I go for a hidden Power Fire, and just not in a good position here. I got to go into this, which dies. Not good. Go back into Ditto. You know, I'm just trying to survive at this point. I get a V-Crate off. It doesn't, like, just under half, but she's able to revenge kill me, which sucks. I go into the Dragon here, and I Draco, and that's what I should have done the first time, is just get a Draco out on the Dragon, but Ice Beam did more. Or on the Ferrothorn. So I go into my Spider here, takes a Hyper Voice, takes a lot, get the webs up, just praying I can get speed drops on future mons, but it's not enough, you know, Spider dies. And I'm just, you know, regretting so many misplays this match. Latios comes out, she protects, I go for Ice Beam, because I'm figuring Ferrothorn doesn't want to take an Ice Beam, Dragon doesn't want to take an Ice Beam, but this thing takes an Ice Beam pretty well. And that's the match, because the Darmanitan comes in and dies. So, I'm in Vampire 218, very sad to be bringing you a loss due to just misplay and misprep on my part. I'm going to really try in weeks 2 and on to bring you better prep and better plays. Bye!